A single man walks against the vastness of the Negev, a figure carved from dust and destiny. This is Jacob, the patriarch whose name means one who trips others up, but whose life became the threshold of a nation. His story is a cycle of wrestling with a brother, with a father-in-law, and ultimately with the divine. It is a narrative of deceptions and transformations echoing across 3 millennia. Today, at the northern gate of Bethlehem, a fortress stands. Behind these concrete walls lies the resting place of Rachel, the beloved wife whose tragedy redefined the meaning of home. Pilgrims come here to pour out their hearts, touching stones that have witnessed centuries of tears. They come to Mother Rachel, the matriarch who stays on the road to watch over her children as they walk through the valleys of history. But to understand the fortress, we must return to the pillar, a simple stack of stones raised in grief on a desert roadside. Canaan, 1800 BCE, a land of rugged promise. Here the patriarch Isaac and his wife Rebekah awaited the birth of twins who would father 2 distinct worlds. The struggle began in the womb. Rebekah felt the nations wrestling within her. "Why do I exist?" she cried. The divine answer was clear. The elder shall serve the younger. The hierarchy of nature was about to be overturned. Jacob was born holding his brother's heel, a sign that he would spend his life reaching for a status he was not born with. Esau was the man of the field, the ruddy hunter Isaac loved. He was the archetype of the outdoorsman, impulsive and physically dominant. But Esau's weakness was his appetite. For a single bowl of red lentil stew, he traded his birthright, the spiritual and economic leadership of the family, to his calculating younger brother. "Sell me your birthright," Jacob demanded. This was not just a meal, it was a legal contract. Esau ate and went his way, but Jacob now held the claim to the future of the covenant. Guidance came from his mother. Covered in goatskins to mimic his brother's hair, Jacob deceived his blind father to steal the final patriarchal blessing. The discovery brought a murderous rage. Esau vowed to kill his brother. The blessing had made Jacob a master, but it had also made him a fugitive. Jacob fled north to Haran. He left the promised land with nothing but a staff and a promise. At Bethel, the heavens opened. In a dream of a ladder reaching to God, Jacob realized he was not alone. "I will bring you back to this land," the voice promised. In Haran, Jacob met Rachel. To water her sheep, he rolled away a stone that normally took several men to move. For her, he would work for 7 years, a price of devotion unheard of in the ancient world. But in the shadows of the wedding feast, the deceiver was deceived. Laban substituted the older daughter, Leah. "In our country," Laban grinned, "the elder must come first." 14 years of labor followed. A household of 2 wives and 2 maidservants became the forge of a nation. If you're enjoying our video, please take a moment to like and subscribe. 20 years later, Jacob turned home. But to enter Canaan, he had to cross the Jabbok, a river that carves a deep gorge through the hills of Gilead. On the other side, Esau was waiting with 400 men. Alone in the darkness by the blue waters of the Jabbok, a stranger attacked. It was a brutal struggle in the dust of the riverbank. Jacob wrestled through the night, refusing to let go. He was wrestling with his past, his fear, and the very presence of God. He would not yield until he was blessed. Day broke. His hip was dislocated, but his name was changed. No longer Jacob, but Israel, he who strives with God and prevails. The heartfelt emotional relief. The meeting with Esau was not a battle, but an embrace. The years of rivalry dissolved in tears. The nations were at peace.
for a moment. But the road home held one final tragedy. Near Bethlehem, Rachel, the woman he had worked 14 years to win, went into hard labor. As her soul departed, she named her son, Son of My Sorrow. Jacob buried her there, on the road. He raised a pillar to mark the grave, a monument that would stand as a sentinel for her descendants for thousands of years. He renamed the boy Benjamin, the son of the right hand. The favorite wife was gone, but her memory was etched into the very soil of the road to Jerusalem. Centuries passed. The pillar became a shrine. Roman, Byzantine, and Ottoman travelers all stopped here, adding their own stones to the memory of the mother who died giving life. In 1841, Sir Moses Montefiore enclosed the dome, adding a unique iron key used by laboring women for protection. But in the 1990s, the shrine became a fortress, encased in concrete and wire as the modern world wrestled around it. Yet the spiritual pillar remains. Rachel's tomb is a place of intercession where the mother of Israel still weeps for her children, promising that they will return to their borders. The architecture of conflict cannot erase the architecture of the soul. The pillar Jacob raised is still there, beneath the layers of history, witnessing every prayer. Jacob's journey shows us that we are all defined by our struggles. We enter the river as supplanters, and we emerge with a limp and a new name. At the tomb today, women still pray for children, and the broken pray for healing. The iron key may be in a museum, but the doors of Mother Rachel remain open to the heart. We touch these walls and connect to a man who refused to let go of the divine until he was blessed. We connect to a story that is as old as the dust and as new as tomorrow. Between the concrete and the sky, Mother Rachel waits. On the road to Bethlehem, the wrestling ends and the hope begins. If you'd like to see more of our videos, hit the subscribe button.